VGK travels to Chicago to meet the Blackhawks. We have a preview of USA versus Canada. They call this the Rivalry Series, but it's been all USA so far. And tonight they'll be meeting at the Dollar Loan Center Arena in Henderson. And our picks for tonight's game all ahead. Hi again, everyone. I'm Tony Cardasco along with Chris Golick. You could find us at Locked On VGK, of course, on Twitter at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G, and our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. It's Locked On Golden Knights. Good morning to you, Chris. How are you today?
I like how you're
Cheerio.
sitting. This is like
Hey.
the most upright you've been in a long time in one of our podcasts, so you can get that scarf out there. I was looking behind me to see if I had my Golden Knights Blackhawks side by side sweater up there, but it must be dirty or something, or I don't know.
It's a big day for Bournemouth. So Bill Foley was actually interviewed by a lot of journalists in the UK over the past few days, and he said that his interest in owning an MLS team in Las Vegas has waned. So I don't think he's going to dabble in that, but they're pretty excited over there, to be quite honest with you. And my scarf is 10 times better than any scarf that you have seen on TV with any of the broadcast crew or even Coach Cassidy's. I like mine a lot more.
Sounds like you need to get a book a little station and that swap meet off Decatur in '95 and start selling them.
It's about $20. I don't know whatever the conversion was. Okay, back to the matters at hand, Mr. Chris. The last time VGK played against Chicago, VGK posted that 1-0 win here against the Blackhawks. Paul Cotter, right? He was the hero. Where has he been? 4 games without a goal. Had the pair of goals in Boston, but again, not much coming out of him offensively. Maybe he'll get back on track tonight. I just remember that game because didn't Cotter just get out of the penalty box and then that long stretch pass by Zach Whitecloud, and then they had the 2-on-1. Was it him and Riley Smith, I think? And then,
Absolutely.
Riley Smith was the decoy, and then he just took it home, scored the goal.
You are
Your
right
team's
about
not
that
very
because I
good.
actually
Your
want to say it
team's
was
not very
Gary.
good right now.
What's that?
Your team's not very good.
Gary Lawless made the comment actually that he admired Paul Cotter, I think in his words, for having the stones to take that shot. You can take the layup and, pass to the veteran, quote unquote, and you did your job. And the fact that Cotter, used Smith as a decoy, that was actually a sign of things to come for Paul Cotter on the breakaway.
Yeah, I think it was Caleb Jones who just got hung out to dry. He fell for it, and then we saw the goal there. This Chicago team not doing well right now. We
They
can
got the
start
memo.
we can start with their goaltending. And tonight they say that they're going to be starting Arvid Soderblom in net. Okay, a record of 2-8-2, 3.18 goals against average. And I wasn't being facetious when I tweeted at you that the total could be 9.5 in this game
I
tonight,
wasn't being facetious saying that wasn't bad for the first period.
for sure. So we could start there. They've had all sorts of issues with the goaltenders. Peter Mrazek just gets off the injured list. His record 2-6-1. He gets shelled in Washington. Gave up, I think, 7 goals in the game. At what point do you pull a goalie? They let him just hang out to dry, and including Ovechkin's 800 in that game.
Yeah, I'm looking at the overall Blackhawks stats right now as I type for a second, and then I'll start yapping. But the Blackhawks, they got the memo, right? They made the white flag trade that kind of seemed like okay, this is going to be our Connor Bedard moment here when we shipped out DeBrincat, Kirby Doc, and among others. And everyone's still waiting for the Patrick Kane domino to possibly fall. I say possibly because it hasn't happened yet, and you know every day it gets closer. Now is when the discussions are really going to start because the Jack Eichel deal did not happen overnight. It was an entire summer of conversations. It seemed like, and it seemed like the Jack Eichel deal was kind of dead in the water. And then all of a sudden, what, in November it was announced or something like that, and then obviously by February or March he was on the ice. So now is the time you're going to really start hearing the Patrick Kane discussion happening here. Just looking at the Blackhawks overall right now, seeing Max Domi's got 20 points. He's doing pretty well. Patrick Kane's got 21 points. And, he's doing what Patrick Kane does. Oh my gosh. Mrazek 2.6, 4.37, and Soderblom 2.8, 3.18. Oh my God, that's rough. So, all love for my Blackhawks, all love for my friends that are gonna make the trip to West Madison and make the cold walk from Billy Goat's on down. Billy Goat's a fun little place. Friends, if you want to find something just kind of funny, Saturday Night Live, the Olympia. It's a skit with Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and
I've
that
been
is
there.
where.
I've been there.
Yep, that's there. There's a few of them, and they're awesome. I think I might have told you to go there actually one of your trips. Now that I think about it, which one did you go to?
No,
Did you go to the one on Lower
the
Michigan underground, or which one did you
the
go
one
to?
like underground. Yeah,
Yep,
it's like
Lower Michigan.
really, really dark there
Yep.
and scary. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
no,
good.
it's the area around it.
Thanks for sending me
You're
there. Yeah,
basically
thank you.
yeah, it's a great
Go
place,
get
great
mugged.
place.
Go get mugged, Cardasco. You'll like it.
Whatever.
No, I was there
Don't go
before.
too
Just
much
kidding.
farther. Just stay on the Lower Michigan side. Don't go on the Lower Wacker side. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Um, but or order fries. Make sure you get fries from there. No fries, cheaps, no Pepsi, Coke. All that stuff. But
Cheeseburger, Pepsi.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
is that it?
But watch the Olympia Saturday Night Live skit, and that'll give you the outlook on what Billy Goats is all about. A lot of fun. So, I say Chicago, I start reminiscing immediately, and that's okay. It's half my show, so I'm allowed to. Back to the Blackhawks, though, tough spot. They did start okay, right? Everyone was saying, "Hey, these guys ain't so bad." Referencing the movie Major League, where everyone's like, "Okay, they're starting to do pretty well. These guys ain't so blank and bad," and blah blah blah. And then, well, now we're to the water boy, and we suck again. So, like I said, the Blackhawks got the memo, right? They're having a poor season. They are in tank mode. Call it what it is. They're trying to put themselves in the best give themselves the best chance to land Connor Bedard. And I mean, Connor Bedard to the Blackhawks would be magnificent for the NHL. Original six, a great anchor to build around for at least a decade to come. Same way, of course, Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews turned that entire organization around. We don't want to see him go to Arizona. I really don't think that would be good for the NHL. But this is a game that the Vegas Golden Knights have to win. I say have to win because they stole that game in Winnipeg. And yes, everyone said, I'm sure if we would have talked before the trip, 2 points, split the road trip, everything is a good road trip, right? Well, now you won the tough game. You have to show up for this game. And the Golden Knights, they're doing very well on the road. I'm sure I'm going to say minus 260 on the favorites. I'm going to put them at minus 260 while I look this up.
They're going to be a heavy favorite. Yeah. I just wanted to ask you. So
LT's going tonight too, obviously.
Yeah, but on the other end, what is it? Alex Stalock, who had that really good game against VGK. I checked his record. He's 3-2-1. He stopped 36 of 37 shots against the VGK. I haven't seen if he's been injured or anything, but I don't know why he's not in the mix. Maybe because of the salaries. Obviously, Mrazek has got to be
he was probably playing too well. They probably had to fix that.
They sent him
they
down.
had to cook the books a little bit.
He's too good. And then I guess Caleb Jones will be he'll replace Ian Mitchell tonight. Jones, who we talked about earlier, has some sort of a hip issue there. But other than that, I mean, it should just be an up and down the ice game. I can't see VGK losing this one unless, of course, they just don't go in focused enough. It should be one of those games where you pad your stats, couple of Carlson goals, no empty netters. But yeah, 2 Carlson goals probably.
I want the karate kick video. I want to see you in the living room doing karate kicks. I think that would be awesome.
You like
it
that
would definitely
timeline,
take
huh?
us over 300 YouTube followers.
You like the timeline when Carlson scores?
It was pretty funny when I went through there. It was pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, it was a good time.
So every time that William Carlson scores an empty netter, I just get harassed because everyone knows he's by far my favorite VGK player, by far.
Back to Golden Knights minus 220 tonight. So I was in the ballpark, and that line's probably going to tilt more towards the Golden Knights. You might get some late Blackhawks money just in case, but there's not a lot of indicators to show that this game isn't going to go well, even with our injuries, even with everything that we're going through. It would just be terribly unfortunate if this was like a 2-1, loss or something like that, or a 1-0 loss where the team just can't score after getting 5 goals past Connor Hellebuck, which I'm guessing the Golden Knights might be one of few or the only team to even do that this calendar year. So hopefully they show up. This is a game where Cassidy needs to do his job, and it starts with Cassidy having them ready, and whatever that means, whether it was yesterday's practice, today's pregame skate, if he even does the pregame day of skates. A lot of times the assistants run those, and the head coaches don't even go out for that. But whatever it takes, the team has to be ready. It's still Blackhawks are still an NHL franchise. I still remind everybody, even though they're on the bottom, they're still one of the best 32 teams in the world, and you cannot take them as a pushover. Saturday against the Islanders at home, that's going to be interesting. First game back from the road trip, blah, 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 adjust from the time zone, blah, 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 blah. The players are going to be doing all their errands and all their honey-do lists tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. All the stuff we're probably going to hear from Cassidy tomorrow on Saturday night on the press game afterwards when they drop a bad game at home.
Okay, coming up next, we have a preview of USA versus Canada. We've got women's hockey in the hood, if you will. We'll return with more after this on AFC Bournemouth. No, on Locked On Golden Knights. BetOnline.net is your number one source for sports bet. I like to just catch Chris a little off guard once in a while.
Make sure I'm paying attention. It looks like I'm not, but
your number one source for sports betting information, for stats, for news and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every basketball game, every professional amateur league that's out there. For soccer, we've got the finale in the World Cup. We've got football going on, the NFL. We've got the NHL. We've got esports. We've got it all at betonline.net. And if you love podcasts, you can find those as well at BetOnline. We are always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn much, much more. BetOnline, where the game starts. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. And we thank you all for making us your first listen each and every day. You can find our podcast wherever you get your podcast. And please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because then you get a chance to see this nifty scarf. It doesn't play well on the audio version of the show. And so we've got the 2022 Rivalry Series coming to the Dollar Loan Center tonight in Henderson. This is like VGK versus, for the most part, the San Jose Sharks, because USA's dominated, right? They're up 3-0 in this series. I think so. Yeah, coming into the Dollar Loan Center. But you had a chance to go to the practice session yesterday and give us some of what you saw.
Yeah, so the practice was really good. The first thing I noticed after I was there for about, let me take a quick sip here before we keep going too far.
And we never know.
All right, there we go. We're fighting the everlasting cold, respiratory, asthma, COVID, whatever this concoction of crap is I got going on, but we'll get better. We'll get better. All right, so yesterday at practice over in Henderson at at the Lifeguard Arena, pardon me. It was an intense practice. That's the first thing I noticed. USA started at 12:30, but the Canadian players were actually there walking around, kind of watching them practice, walking by, going on to their bus as they went off to wherever it is that they're staying in town before tonight's game. And it's kind of interesting seeing, the two sets of teams, kind of eyeballing each other. And before I get into the practice, I was talking to someone affiliated with the team yesterday. And my question was, what can we expect as far as like a physical game and things like that? And the answer was, it's going to be a little chippy tonight. It's going to be a little chippy tonight. This is in soccer. You have the term friendly. There you go, Tony, for your scarf. And friendly does not mean it's a gathering of teams that necessarily like each other. It doesn't mean that everything is going to be hunky-dory. It doesn't mean there's going to be the right level of gamesmanship, if you will. They get a little ugly at times, and I think tonight's game has an opportunity to become pretty chippy. USA's up 3-0. I guess with a win, they clinch the series tonight, which I don't know exactly how they're scoring this, because 5 games they've won 3, 1 was in overtime. But however that's going to work, so there could be a celebration of sorts on the ice if and when USA can win tonight. But a game like this, again, if you take a bad penalty, right, you're not putting your team at risk for losing a medal. You're not going to get suspended and, taken out of the round robin competition if this was a world championship or that type of setting. So, you kind of have a little more of the pickup aspect to it, right? The pond hockey aspect, where there's going to be some liberties on the ice, and USA and Canada do not like each other. I'm sure there's a level of respect amongst another, but there's not going to be any love lost the second that puck is dropped. And yesterday, back to my original points, Coach Wroblewski, he ran a very intense practice. They were out there for approximately, the goalies came out early for about 15, 20 minutes, normal, all three goalies. And then the players came out and they were going hard for about an hour and 10 minutes yesterday, working on rushes, working on power plays, working on breakouts. And then just very fast, very upbeat, very physical, very physical. They were not, taking it easy on each other because they're wearing the same uniform or anything like that. I caught, it's on our Twitter. It was about a 4-second video I posted. I don't know who it was, but they almost had an absolute Sports Center top 10 goal. Puck was on midair about waist level, chip it right there over the goalie's shoulder off the top of the post. I happened to be standing right behind the net when it happened. You got a lot of star power on the ice. Of course, you have Amanda Kessel, or in Phil Kessel's words, the better of the hockey playing Kessels in the family. So we have that to look forward to. You got Sarah Nurse on Team Canada, who is the sister of Daniil Nurse. I hope I said that right. Daniel Nurse, Daniil Nurse. Edmonton Oilers. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. So you have plenty of hockey bloodlines just amongst those two family members. And it's going to be a good time tonight. Tickets are moving pretty well. I've been watching it for about the last week to see how often they're selling. And you're up to about the last few rows of the only bowl that Dollar Loan Center has. So I think there's a good chance for this game to be a sellout. They had over 14,000 taking the game in Seattle recently.
Seattle.
And then they go to LA, I believe, on Saturday to wrap the series up at the former Staples Center and soon to be former Crypto.com arena. They're not going to be able to afford the naming rights on that place for much longer, the way things are going with crypto. I just checked my Coinbase stock that's down to $34 a share right now. I'm in it for over 200, by the way.
Oh, geez. Okay, so Hillary Knight, did you see her on the ice and how did she look?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell the players that set themselves apart, your stars, your leaders and things like that. And noticeable, you don't see. So in the practice on the back of the jerseys, you don't have the numbers. All you have is the back of the helmet. And so you're just kind of looking by recognition. And Knight was certainly someone that was a little more recognizable. Something I noticed on the rosters as well. This is kind of cool for me. And obviously, as we're playing the Blackhawks tonight, you had, I want to say, 4 or 5 players from the Chicagoland area on the team. And so I asked one of the media contacts, I'm like, hey, what is it about this area? There we go. We're good. What is it about this area that produces all this talent? And I wasn't sure if they were going to talk about a program or this, that, and the other. And it's in the water. It's in the water. So there you go. Go if you want to make it to a high level of hockey. Go in the Illinois area, drink the water, get some deep dish pizza, get some Portillo's, and off you go.
Yeah, it should be a good game tonight there. And a big crowd in there would really be good. That place can really rock if there's a sellout crowd there. And I did see some of the numbers there, over 14,000 at Climate Pledge Arena. And this is a series that they took a year off, and now they're back in the fold. And Hillary Knight, I think, has been the leading scorer so far with 6 goals. What about goaltending for Team USA? I always
caught me off guard for the names, or I forgot my roster there. They had 3 goalies on the ice. I didn't see if they were rotating goalies each game. I honestly don't know how the rotation's going, but the 3 goalies I were watching, I mean, you're splitting hairs watching them as far as skill level goes. They're all taking equal times in the net. When they're doing a drill on one side, the other 2 goalies were on the other side of the net working on their game. So we'll see how that shakes out. Sorry, I don't got the names offhand. I had my roster with me. I think I left it in the car, unfortunately. But yeah.
No, it should be a fun time tonight.
Oh, no doubt, it's going to be great. This is my 7 o'clock Dollar Loan Center. This is my first personal international game that I'm ever going to see, whether it's soccer, hockey, anything like that. So I'm super excited to see what the vibe is in the arena. Expect a lot of youth hockey presence. I know the Vegas Golden Knights purchased a chunk of tickets right around the glass for some of the youth VGK women's and girls participants. So you're going to have a raucous environment down there, and I'll be on ice level for the warm-up. Same thing I do for the Golden Knights games, bringing the ISO cams and just trying to. My goal is tonight to really just give people that aren't there a taste of what it's like to be in the arena tonight, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think obviously it's going to be a pro USA crowd, but you'll have Canada representation, no doubt about that. And it's going to be an awesome showcase of talent on the ice and something to look forward to when we have the World Championships and obviously the Winter Olympics down the road of what it's going to be like, because you'll see a lot of these same players obviously participating 1.5 and 3.5 years down the road, wherever the numbers work out to be for the World Championships and the Olympics. And just a lot of fun. Go out, like I said, there's not going to be a lot of tickets left. I think this game might be a paper sellout as it gets closer to game time.
Okay, so the only reason why they have it at the Dollar Loan Center because of Hillary Knight, Silver Knights, Golden Knights, Hillary Knights. No, stay with
I
us.
don't know. I mean, there's options. Obviously, T-Mobile, I'm sure, was an option. There's nothing happening there tonight, to the best of my knowledge. There's a concert or something. VGK comes back on Saturday, and I mean, on the Strip outside of T-Mobile, it would be just weird to be anywhere if it's not going to be a T-Mobile. You wonder if we talked about this with the Silver Knights. You wonder if the location of Dollar Loan Center is possibly deterring why some of the attendance isn't what it is. And I saw some pictures last night. Didn't seem like a lot of people. Silver Knights shutout, 5-0 shutout. Brossoit was in nets. So things are starting to turn around for this Silver Knights team that has no Miramadov, no Korzak now, no Pahal. Those are the recent call-ups. And then Zach Hayes traded recently. Ronbjerg, I believe, is up right now. And with a limited roster, and we're calling up the Ghost Pirates one by one, it seems like, So with a very limited roster, they're getting it done right now. So it seems like Viveros has that team in a good spot. They got 2 more home games this weekend, Friday and Saturday. I think Coachella is back, actually, without Shane Wright, who's obviously up with Seattle right now. And, a couple wins all of a sudden. I think they're 9-15 right now. But at one point that was, like 6 and something and 2-8 and 2-10. So things are getting better, and a lot of teams qualify for the playoffs in the AHL. Seems like a lot more teams qualify because they play like a play-in type series. I think it's a 3-game series to get like 20 of the 32 teams in or something like that. And so you never know. Maybe they'll sneak in, and the VGK will get healthy, be able to send some of those players back down, and maybe they can make a run. Who knows, right?
Yeah. So going back to what you just had mentioned, though, the deterrent might be, I know that, because I broadcast the UNLV basketball game there, and a lot of folks were texting and on social media said the traffic was just unbearable there in that area whenever they have a larger crowd. It was so what you said, maybe what keeps people away? I thought you talked about a deterrent of sorts. No?
No, I mean I'm just wondering why, as we're kind of changing gears a little bit here, why the Silver Knights aren't necessarily, drawing that well. It's a brand new arena. It's got the Knights name to it and everything. And whether
Winning,
it's
you need to win. That's a W.
that's fine. That's
You need
fine.
to
But
win here. That's it. If
AHL
they're in
hockey
first
in
place,
general,
they go
though,
crazy.
that's not the business model. Like that's the thing. AHL hockey, it's about creating the atmosphere that the kids want to drag you back and go to. They don't care what the score is. They like a cool
And
pregame
scratch.
show. All
It's
that.
expensive for AHL. Very
I don't
expensive
know.
for AHL.
I'll tell you right now. I list the games I don't go to. I list my tickets on Access for $10 a ticket.
Yeah. Well, that's
And
good.
it's 8 rows behind the goal. So, and 2 of my tickets sold last night. 2 of them didn't even sell last night. So, but the traffic, yeah, coming from the Strip side, coming from the West side, Summerlin up north, yeah, that traffic is terrible because obviously getting to T-Mobile is not an easy task. And now the people that are coming from the West side and all that, you have to add the added flavor of crossing 15 and 215 all the way around the curve to Green Valley Parkway. That's usually backed up. I'm lucky. I come from the Henderson side, so we sneak right up Paseo Verde and we get right in there. But coming from the other side, no, it could take a while.
Coming up next, we have a preview of tonight's game. VGK traveling to Chicago to take on the Blackhawks. We'll be back with our predictions and our locks of the night. There's one of those locks of the night, Hillary Knight. I got to get off that. Back with more after this on Golden Knights. So you're hanging out with some of your friends and you're putting back a few drinks. A few becomes a few too many. As the evening comes to an end and people start to head out, you think of calling it a night and calling for a ride, right? But nah, you live nearby. You can make it home okay. It is no big deal. And what are the odds that you're going to get pulled over anyway? And even so, what's the worst that could happen? Your insurance goes up, you can lose your license, you lose your job, you total your car, you kill someone. Everyone knows about the risks of drunk driving. and the results are tragic and often deadly. And this message is important because it's the holiday time. However, again, it does not ever stop people from getting behind the wheel and under the influence. And that is why police officers are out there right now in our neighborhoods, and they are looking for impaired drivers on the roadways to save lives. So if you think you're going to be okay to drive home after a few drinks, think again. Play it safe, plan ahead, get a ride. Very simple today with rideshare and everything else. It only takes one mistake to change your entire life or someone else's forever. Drive sober or get pulled over. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. And make sure that you check out Locked On Sports Today. Find that wherever you get your podcast, including Odyssey, as well as our podcast, Locked On Golden Knights, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Prediction time, tonight's game, Chicago, VGK. High scoring affair. We get a chance to see a lot of the youngins play for the Vegas Golden Knights. Do we get an opportunity to finally see Caden Korczak in his debut?
No, I think you keep a winning lineup together. It was not the best defensive winning lineup, but it was a winning lineup. So don't change anything. Don't get cute. Don't do anything that might, as a coach, you might regret tomorrow morning in a game that, again, not even an overtime loss here. This is a must-win situation, not because their season's going to go backwards or anything like that, but bank these points because we're not going to play the Blackhawks every night, unfortunately, as much as we would like to. We're not going to play them every night. We're not going to play these bottom, 4 and 5 teams in the NHL. So bank the points, and now more than ever, the importance of that. And over under 6.5. So, Vegas definitely thinks this game's going to have some action. I think the over, that's certainly the square public value, definitely more goals than a soccer game, no doubt about that. What are we going to score this game tonight? Where are we going to score this game tonight? The Blackhawks played them well, but they're doing so bad. They got Soderblom, carry the 1, hold the 2, move the decimal point. Let me take my socks off and count down here. Let's go with the weird 6-4 VGK winner, but it feels where VGK feels like they're in control the whole time. They'll control the game, but it's going to be kind of ugly, kind of like Winnipeg, but not as stressful, where VGK will never trail. VGK never trails, wins 6-4. There we go.
Okay, so the last meeting, that 1-0 affair, we saw Chicago tighten up things defensively at neutral ice, but I think this will be much more wide open. And I'm guessing a 6-2 final in favor of Bournemouth, in favor of VGK tonight.
Folks, we both predicted the Golden Knights. Go hammer the Blackhawks right now. Hammer the Blackhawks. Hammer the under. Just go do it and thank us in the morning.
Okay. It's time for, of course, your lock of the night. And you go first, and then I'll go.
Let's go with Paul Cotter to get back on the board. I think that's fun based on his history against the VGK. And I think I'm probably taking the ones you took the other day. You did. Or no, I did Cotter and Stone last game. I can't go Cotter and Stone tonight. Then I can't do that.
That's right. You can't do that.
I'll stick with Cotter just because I'm not going to break the rules. But I'll take Stevenson and his 4 assists. There we go. I'll take Stevie and his 4 assists.
You don't have another side? Just one player? You taking Cotter? You can't
Cotter
go
and Stevie. Cotter and Stevie. Or you want me to? Okay, I'll get off Cotter. No, that's fine. Let's get off Cotter. Let's go. Okay, fine. Let's go William Karlsson and Jonathan Marchessault. Let's do that. Let's do that for the kid in the back. Okay.
Karate kicks, brother.
WK71. WK71. Tony's is a family show. Careful.
Okay, I'm going to go with Phil and Amanda Kessel.
I like it.
Is that good? That's what I'm going to do.
You go with both Kessels? I like it. That's fun.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the
I like Kessels. That. I like that. All right, you got both Kessels. I like it. Book it. Okay. Fam, hit us on Twitter if you got your locks of the night. I'll put a tweet out there in a little bit as well. And now we're having fun. Should be an interesting game. Usually they show the national anthem. This is just something for everyone. If you haven't watched a Blackhawks game, usually the road side will show the national anthem. And if you want to see, listen, we have it fun how we shout Knights at the appropriate time in the song. but the crowd at the United Center and former Chicago State, well, not former, older Chicago Stadium before it was torn down, after a desert storm, and also it happened to be when their old singer, Wayne Messmer, was unfortunately shot. They played a recording of the national anthem. It's when Desert Storm was happening. And the moment the song started, the crowd just erupted in cheer and just cheered at the top of their lungs for the entire song, start to finish. And since that moment, now the entire crowd in Chicago cheers from the beginning of the song to the end of the song. It's a remarkable sight, awesome to see. Just it's very emotional. So definitely take a chance to watch that tonight. If for some reason they don't show it, go on YouTube, just Google Chicago Blackhawks national anthem. Jim Cornelison. Listen, we got Golden Pipes. They got Cornelison, who's been doing a lot longer. Both are phenomenal singers, but taking in a Jim Cornelison national anthem is a very special moment. So check it out.
Okay. And tomorrow, of course, on the show, the recap of tonight's game, as well as what the Friday time already.
Man, if we used to what the Friday from the whole, I feel like we can probably fill 35 minutes easily.
You want to just do like second and third segments tomorrow, maybe? Who needs to preview the Islander game?
I mean,
we'll have
listen, if the Blackhawks poop the bed tonight, we'll have 3 segments for
it. All right. For my man, Chris Pollock, I'm Tony Perdasco from Las Vegas. You have a fine day. See you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take care.
No Cheerio? I thought definitely we had Cheerio coming there.